Chapter 17. For a few days, rumors had been going round the ashram that another operation is soon to take place to cut out more of the tumor whose growth has become so terrifying, weakening the whole body of the sage. Last night, several surgeons came from Madras with bags full of instruments. They assisted at the evening meditation and exchanged a few words with the saint before leaving the temple hall. This morning, Maharshi was absent from his usual place, and the members of the ashram staff said that the operation has to take place about noon. All Westerners were on alert, and many people were wandering around the temple, going here and there in the vicinity of the dispensary where the operation was being performed. In the evening, we were told that the operation was over, but Maharshi was very weak and would not be able to leave the dispensary. Later, he sat in an armchair on the veranda of its white building, surrounded by surgeons and the ashram staff, and on the nearby square, a long queue had been formed by those who were anxious to see the master. One by one they advanced, silently mounted the few steps, saluted, and immediately went down by the other side. I was not there. I went to the temple, sat in my usual place, and plunged into meditation, with no thoughts, no mental forms, in the quietness of that silence which is more eloquent than words. How marvelous is the peace of such a silence! It is beyond the limits of time and human memory. It cannot be immediately interpreted in words because of a certain reluctance on our part to touch this silence by thought. It does not allow us to use words until later. These pages, therefore, were written after some time had lapsed, generally during the free hours following lunch, when everyone goes to rest. All the life of the ashram seems to be suspended, and no one is in the temple hall. People generally sleep from noon to 3, but not myself, for I have much correspondence. Letters reach me from all parts of the world in many languages, from people of different nature, temperament, and level of development. Heat discourages all physical movement, but the superphysical functions remain independent of it, and the mind works normally. When I finish my correspondence for the day, I take my diary or a few pages of my remembrances from India, which I am trying to write in a form suitable for the average layman. I do not quite like it and have taken it up without enthusiasm. Some will see in it an almost trivial type of description. Others will think it exaggerated and biased. All this cannot be helped. A few days after the operation, Maharshi appears in the temple hall, at first for a few hours only, then for a somewhat longer period, until finally the usual routine is restored, at least for a time. Pupils and devotees, as well as admirers, come from all parts, probably to say farewell to the master and have his final darshan. Among them are Indians and Westerners of many nations. They are chiefly elderly people, coming for a short stay of perhaps a few days. Among them there are serious as well as somewhat grotesque figures. One of the old disciples of the Maharshi, the famous Yogi Ramaya, has remained almost 2 months in the ashram. Every morning and evening he sat literally at the feet of the master, silent and dispassionate, Wrapped in his white garments, he stayed quiet and motionless. After the operation, Maharshi is still thin, but a slight improvement is visible. Among the surrounding people, optimistic rumors are spreading. Some expect a miracle, while others hope for better results from new methods of treatment. I do not try to brood over the future. I am concentrated on the present, leaving the possible sorrow in store for some time, when the Master will not be with me anymore, at least in the physical sense. But I know that I am seeing him in his physical body for the last time.